Center Force.
What's going on, everyone? Nicky Hawkins here for the Total Football Show with my pal Ryan Archer, taking you through 90 minutes of football chitter chat. And there's no Premier League this week, but we're going through England and a load of other stuff that we're going. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, I'm alright, mate. We started late because of floodlight failure, so late kick off today. So yeah, I've had a good week, mate. You?
Yeah, I've had a good week, mate. I set my beard alight today.
What?
Set my beard alight. If you look at my beard, I've got some singed. Set it alight. I was trying to light a cigarette, and I set my beard alight. It went up.
Shave it off, mate. Shave it off.
Yeah, well, do you know what? I've got a little bit of a superstition about it because I always do this thing where if West Ham don't win for a little while, I leave the beard for a little while. Do you know what I mean? But
Good luck with that.
But yeah, exactly. Yeah, I look like Father Christmas by the end of the season. But it's a bit of a revert because if I ended a shave and we haven't won, it doesn't make no sense, does it? Do you know what I mean?
No.
So the best thing to do is have a shave, I think. What have you been up to this week, anyway?
Not a lot, really. Working. I've been banging out the gym, mate. 5:30 in the mornings. Loving it.
The $9.99 gym. So it's working out good, yeah? It's decent,
mate,
yeah?
Definitely. Great gym. But all right, we need to crack on.
Right, what are we looking at today? Because there's no Premier League.
No.
So we're looking at England.
It was the
primarily.
Nations League.
So what?
Do you understand the Nations League?
No, I don't, mate. I ain't got a clue what it is. I know it came in this year, and it's meant to make friendlies a bit more competitive, isn't it? And we're having a problem with the music still playing. Yeah, it's meant to make friendlies a bit more competitive, isn't it? And it's meant to make it a little bit more interesting for the teams. But they're just friendlies, mate, aren't they? Surely.
Well, no, I mean, it's quite competitive, mate, because I'll read it out to you. It's 55 UEFA nation teams will be divided into 4 divisions, 12 teams in League A, 12 teams in League B, 15 teams in League C, 16 teams in League D. There's 4 groups, and, you know, you can qualify for the Euros through this.
Can you really?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah. Basically, the top 4 teams from each group next summer going to a tournament, so 2 semi-finals and then a final, and yeah, the winners going to the Euros.
So it makes it a little bit more important, I suppose.
Yeah, it's more competitive, and it's better than.
So what about the Euro qualifier? Is that in top?
Yeah, they're still going to be doing Euro qualifiers, but yeah, it just makes it instead of having these pointless friendlies. I mean, we've got quite a tough group. We've got Spain and Croatia. Yeah, and obviously we had our first game on Saturday at Wembley. 2-1 defeat after the World Cup. You know, everyone was looking forward to watching England
they
again.
Sort of ruined the homecoming, really, didn't they?
Yeah, but it's just typical England, isn't it? You know, you have a great summer, World Cup semi-finalist, but no, you know.
What happened again? We got off to a great start.
Yeah, Rashford. It was a strong team, starting team. Rashford got the goal, but then Spain got an equaliser straight away. You know, and then 2-1 up at half time.
But the thing is with Spain, they're looking to rebuild as well. They've lost a lot of players over the summer who have retired.
Yeah, I mean, their team wasn't their strongest.
When you look at the 2010 team that won the World Cup and was it the World Cup or the Euros in 2010?
They won everything, didn't they?
Yeah,
they won the World Cup in 2010.
Won the Euros and the World Cup. If you look at them, a lot of them are gone now. The Xavis, the Iniestas, the Puyols, he's going to be on his last leg.
They've still got Ramos, who was getting booed by Wembley. But I think there must have been a lot of Liverpool fans there.
You got a little bit of a mic problem there.
Don't know. All right, John.
Okay. Yeah, he was getting booed. Yeah, because it's the Liverpool fans, of course. But he won't mind that. I'm sure he's used to it.
Yeah, there was a bad injury as well to Luke Shaw, who went down with a head injury.
Do you know what? I saw that. Is he
down
okay?
For about 10 minutes. Yeah, he tweeted out later that he was okay, but he was down for about 8 minutes, which didn't look good. But it's a shame because he played a part in Rashford's goal. You know, he set him up. Great
pass.
He seems to be finding a bit of form, Luke Shaw, now after his criticism from Mourinho last season.
Well, the thing is, when he went to Manchester United, mate, he was so young at the time, and obviously there's always going to be that room for improvement. There's always the little what's the word? The little risk that someone like that is going to fall off the wagon when they look so good, because he was only, I think he was only 18 when he went there from Southampton.
Well, not only that, he got that horrific injury, which he said last week that he was told that he might lose his leg.
Yeah.
You know, for a young person, it don't matter if you're a football player or not, to be told you're going to lose your leg. But he's come back. He's in the Man United team now, and he's back in the England squad. And there's a couple of talking points from the game. I mean, Rashford had a chance to equalise, and it was a great save from De Gea. Danny Welbeck come on as a 94th minute sub.
Yeah.
And to me, he scored the equaliser. I can't believe it was not given. De Gea's fumbled it, and Welbeck's tapped it in, and the referee's bottled it.
VAR.
Yeah, VAR, we need it. I mean, Gareth Southgate... Gareth Southgate was fuming.
Well, so he should be, because it was a perfectly legal goal as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's our first competitive defeat at Wembley since Croatia, when we lost. Remember Wally with a brolly?
Yeah. Sorry, mate? Go to a song. Okay, we're going to go to a song because we're having a bit of a mic problem. What shall I play? Anything, John? Flash there, Rock the Casper. Sorry about that. We had to cut impromptu to a tune because we had a bit of a mic problem, but it's all been sorted now, hopefully.
Am I all right now? Am I all right?
Yeah, we're all right now.
I thought my voice was going. It was the mic.
I thought you was welling up because of the loss.
Yeah.
What was we saying? Luke Shaw. Yeah, bad injury, but he's coming back into form now. Mourinho slagged him off quite a lot as well, didn't he, in the last few years? His weight was an issue. His leg break was an issue. He seems to have a lot of issues, but it's good to see a young player like that sort of coming through, because the left back at the World Cup was, of course, Ashley Young, who's retired from international football now, or he might not have. He might have just got left out, but I'm pretty sure he retired. But it's good to see another youngster coming through. He's a quality youngster as well.
Yeah, definitely. We're quite blessed with fullbacks at England, and Gareth Southgate's trying to build a good squad, and he came under a bit of criticism, but he turned around and said, like, what do you want us to do? Go back to how England used to play, or do you want to stick with what we're trying to do and lose a few times? And I'm happy with that. I'd rather see England try something different. It wasn't a great performance, but look, we've got Croatia. Well, we've got Switzerland next in a friendly. But yeah, as I was saying, I mean, that's our first competitive defeat at Wembley since 2007 when we lost to Croatia.
Before we go on to the England's next couple of games, there's been a report today that Dele Alli obviously pulled out the England squad with an injury. This is always a difficult line of conversation, this really, but they've turned around today and said he'll be fit again to play on Saturday against Liverpool. Now that's an obvious dodgy pull-out, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's one of them things where it's been going on for years and years and years and years and years. Should there be ramifications? How do you prove it? And things like that, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. But I think, look, he was at the World Cup. He's come back. He's only had 2-3 weeks off, isn't he? Straight into the Premier League. He's played every game for Spurs. I think Harry Kane as well. I think maybe Southgate should have named maybe two sort of squads to, you know, someone like Callum Wilson would have been good for this friendly tomorrow. I agree, but it is a competitive game, of course. You know what I mean? So it's a friendly. I mean, he played in the game on Saturday.
Tomorrow's a friendly, but
yeah,
you know, Saturday. But Dele Alli, pulls out for the friendly. Yeah, so it's obviously a dodgy pull out. You don't want to risk him again. Yeah. Do you think England manages in on this?
Yeah, I mean, well, I was reading it just before coming in, and he's got a muscle strain, and I think they've called up Gray from Leicester and what's his name, Chilwell, which is good. I mean, Gareth Southgate's got a lot of players to look at before the Euros, so it's good to give these players a chance. And for me, maybe Gareth Southgate might have turned around to Dele Alli and said, "Look, don't risk it. Just go back." You know, I think Harry Kane's played a lot of football, and he looks a bit
jaded.
Yeah, he does. And we was talking about this earlier.
Good. Keep him playing. Keep him playing as long as he can. I want him to play 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I know that, but the thing is, he's only 24. By the time he gets to 28, it'd be like how Rooney went. It'd just be so worn out and tired. And as an England fan, I don't want it. But as a West Ham fan, as you say, let him play. But that was a 24-game unbeaten run for England at Wembley. So Southgate's first home defeat. But that's 3 losses in a row in competitive football.
You love a stat, didn't you?
Do you remember last time we done that?
After Euro 96?
No, 1988. We
Really?
lost all 3 games in the Euros. So that was England's last time. We lost 3 in a row. So, but yeah, we move on tomorrow night, Switzerland, at Leicester. I mean, we've both spoke about this before. We're big fans of England going around the country. I think it's great especially for people that live up north that can't come down to Wembley to watch England. I think it's good that they travel around all these other grounds.
I think that's the way to go, to be honest. I don't even know why they rebuilt Wembley, if I'm honest. Apart from a stage venue, I don't know why they rebuilt it.
I think if England play a competitive game and it's against a big country, then play at Wembley. But anything else, and that's no disrespect to any other country, but when you play like you're Switzerland. But saying that, Switzerland had a great win the other day. They won 6-0 against Iceland.
Yeah.
And they're looking good. So it won't be an easy game tomorrow. But do you know what? I was read this as well. It's not a stat, but I never knew this. For the first 25 seconds tomorrow, the game's going to be played in black and white.
Why?
Because it's the anniversary of the Kick It Out campaign. So the first 25 seconds. So don't think your telly's gone dodgy. So I hope they explain that. But that'd be quite interesting to see.
Well, yeah, that's always a different thing. I don't know where they get these little niches from, but you know,
that's good. It's a massissive campaign, isn't it?
If that's the way they want to do it, that's the way they want to do it.
I take it must be their 25th anniversary if they're doing 25 seconds.
Yeah, so. I would imagine so. Yeah, brilliant. Should we cut to another song? While we go,
yeah, let's get into another song.
Do you know what? We go to another song, and then we're going to start talking about West Ham.
Ham.
Yeah, there's been no football this week, but there's a lot to talk about. Anyway, Robin S, show me love. Robin S there, show me love. Okay, so before we go into West Ham, Ryan's just shown me a little bit of a clipping of something about the Denmark player. Read it to me again, right?
Yeah, it's a big thing. The Denmark players, they're arguing with the Danish FA over money to play for their national team. I mean, should players really be paid to play for their national team?
Why are they arguing over money? The amount of money that's in the leagues they play in. I mean, it's an honour to play. It should be your. For me,
your pinnacle, isn't it?
It's the greatest honour that you can play in football, to compete for the world's biggest prize. If you're playing for England, or you're playing for Denmark, or you're playing for, even if it's someone like the Faroe Islands.
Wales.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about Wales later, but but even if you're playing you want to play for your country, and like the Danish players are all playing in the European leagues, the big European leagues. Well, I assume most of them are. They'll be playing.
Well, the main person who's arguing, he's Christian Eriksen. He plays in the Premier League for Spurs.
He gets 100 and something thousand pound a week, and he's arguing over
£100,000 a week.
Well, whatever, yeah, £150,000 a week, and he's arguing over a few grand to play for Denmark. If I was Danish and I was Christian Eriksen, I'd be going there for nothing. I wouldn't even be claiming expenses.
Yeah, no, it's right. It should be an honour to play for your country, and one thing I would say is that. If I don't know if England do get paid for,
they do get paid, but I think
nationals. But maybe things like that, their match fees should be donated to the grassroots.
I honestly think.
Football.
I'll be honest with you. I think I've read this before, that I think it was Gary Neville set up a fund where England players that want to can donate their match fees and things like that to a charity, which I still believe today is still carried on, and they still do.
Yeah, that's right. That's good. It's like caps, isn't it? I mean, people get a cap now for coming on for a 1 minute subs. I think the only way you should get a cap is either if you start and you play over a certain amount of time, like 60 minutes or so, unless you get injured. I mean, you got Titus Bramble, 1 cap.
Yeah, but
Joey Barton, 1 cap.
But technically it's a cap, isn't it?
Yeah, but if you come on as a sub, a cap should be if you start. That's the way I see it.
I don't know.
Bobby Moore has got 120 odd caps. He played every game, every minute.
I think he's got 106.
Well, yeah, you know what I mean? Yeah. So he's played every single, and he deserves.
I do believe you, but if you are someone like a Titus Bramble or a Lee Bowyer or a Ricketts,
Michael Ricketts,
who has got 1 cap. Nugent,
I think I got more caps. Nugent's
got 1 cap, 1 goal.
Yeah,
and if you're someone like that, imagine someone telling you as you come off the pitch, and you're probably never going to get picked again. You're not getting a cap for that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'd be annoyed.
Maybe they should just give him like a beanie hat or something instead.
yeah. Give him a little
scarf.
Give him a tiny cap.
Here you go.
Little half a cap.
Right, let's get into West Ham. Let's talk a little bit about West Ham.
Before we talk about West Ham, I'm going to read you out a statement that I read today. Okay. And the headline of this is West Ham rent does not cover costs of staging matches according to LLDC chief executive. London Legacy Development Corporation chief executive Lynn Garner also reveals West Ham have a veto over stadium naming rights. So what it is basically, right, West Ham rent for London Stadium does not cover the cost of staging matches there. That is according to Lynn Garner, the chief executive. West Ham secured the stadium for rental of £2.5 million a year in 2013. Moved to start the 2016-17 season. So it goes on a little bit. I'm not going to read it all because it's quite a lengthy article. That turns around and says, the geezer saying, we don't cover the costs of match day. I think that was pretty much known, that we don't cover the costs of the match day. But the interesting thing to read here is that, you know, they're embroiled over hours about money that the club don't owe. They categorically say that they do not owe this money. They're trying to squeeze money out of them that is not in their rental agreement, and because the LLDC's losing so much money, they're trying to put it on West Ham. The interesting thing here, right, is that somewhere in this deal, I mean, whoever negotiated this deal for the LLDC, if he's still there, I'll be very surprised. £2.5 million a year, right? West Ham have to, if the stadium negotiate a naming rights deal, say for instance they went to Centre Force, for instance, and said, right, Centre Force want to sponsor the London Stadium. West Ham have to agree to it. West Ham have to agree. They've got to sign off all final rights of naming rights, and West Ham will get a cut of the money because obviously they're selling that. Well, first of all, why are they making this so difficult? Because the money that West Ham would make from a naming rights deal would surely be a small fraction of what they make in Premier League revenue. So the LLDC, by making this so difficult for West Ham could just dig their heels in and say, well, you know what? You won't put up our signs again. You won't change the colour of this carpet. We're not going to sign off any naming rights. It doesn't mean much to us.
Yeah, it's a mess, isn't it?
It is a mess.
Massive mess, and it's just like, why can't we just get things right? Why can't things just be simple?
The problem is with this is with government-owned things is that you could negotiate something with one government or mayor or whatever, and then by the time you move in there and by the time at some point there's going to be a change of government, and if that other government minister doesn't like the deal and all that, they will dig their heels in.
Yeah,
because it is a massive drain on the taxpayer.
Well, Boris Johnson was part of the original deal, wasn't it?
Well,
and they've got they're sort of upset with him because he negotiated a deal. But yeah, it's just a massive mess, mate. It's just
I always believed that Boris Johnson was negotiating, and this is just my beliefs, right? This does not reflect anything that's truth or whatever. I always believed that the negotiation tactic by Boris Johnson was to get it off the government's hands because it's always going to lose money. They overspent on it. They exuberated it to the point where they can't afford to keep it, and they always wanted it gone.
Yeah, this is what I don't understand. I mean, surely it makes sense for West Ham to be in there. I mean, if we wasn't there, that'd be knocked down now. It'd be nothing.
But I always believed, because we was going to buy it originally.
Yeah, we offered to buy it.
We offered to buy it, and they said yes. And then there was obviously, there's all these bodies and these independent people that people can appeal to. And as I said, when it's a publicly owned building like that and a publicly owned asset, the problem is that people get a say on it. You know what I mean? It ain't down to just Boris Johnson turn and go, yeah, you want to buy it? Yeah, go on then, 50 quid. You know what I mean? It's not like that. It's at a point where there's got to be so many different voices saying yes, yes, yes.
Could you imagine David Sullivan's face if they said 50 quid for that? Imagine him.
Well, I honestly believe, right, it'll end up coming to us for nothing.
Yeah, I reckon we're going to end up getting the stadium. I think it's the best thing for all parties. I mean, West Ham can then take full control of it, and then maybe, you never know whether they want to, but they've got to listen to the fans on something, and maybe they will knock it down and build it up again. Or they ain't even got to knock it all down, just knock it half down, build it all in.
It won't be them.
No, it won't be them. It'll be new owners. Soon as they're given the rights to that stadium, they'll have it about another year, and then before we know it, we'll have fun. People coming in wanting to take over, but it's just a massive mess. Every day you wake up, you read the forums and the news, Sky Sports News, and that. And
the reason I read this out right is could this be one of the reasons why it's going so wrong in other areas? Because the mess just seems to filter through to the club, doesn't it? You know what I mean? Like, you've got people in a stadium that don't know what's going on. There's always something going on with, they can do this, they can't do that, they owe us money. It's a absolute farce, you know what I mean? And we were sat here last week and we spoke about Tottenham Stadium, and they've been given special dispensation again to go to MK Dons. That's 3 stadiums in a year, which I'm sure is out of is not in the rules, right? The only way they would be going to MK Dons without breaking the rules is if they ain't planning to go in White Hart Lane this year. But that's a discussion for another day. Yeah. We're discussing West Ham in a minute. But when you look at that sort of thing, the mess filters down, doesn't it? Do you know what I mean? The mess filters down into the club. Is that reason why it's just all over the place? No one knows what no one's doing. I don't know. It's just a theory, mate.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, mate. And
I've had an argument with myself there, haven't I?
We just want this mess sorted, and whether it's going to get sorted soon, I don't think it will. I mean, this will probably drag on for a few more years, but
they'll be skint by March.
Yeah, I mean, it's a stadium, and the things going on the pitch ain't that good either, is it? It's been a disappointing start to the season. I mean, do you want to quickly go over? I mean, it's international break, so we can look back at the last sort of 4 game start of the season. Yeah. It hasn't been great, has it?
No, it hasn't been great at all.
You got an international break. You think Pellegrini will be straight in rush green with the players that are there, getting them, but no, he goes on holiday. He goes to Chile, which a lot of people sort of kicked off about this on social media, and you can look at it 2 ways. I mean, he lives over here, his family are in Chile, he's got a break, he wants to go home. Right. It could be so negative with the players and that they just thought, look, instead of being at the training ground, go off, have a break, then we'll get together, and then we'll go into the week towards Everton. You can look at it like that. Me, personally, they should have been in that training ground, the players that weren't away on international duty, and they should have been bonding on the training pitch, because at the moment, when they play matches, they don't look like they're bonding. They look like strangers sometimes, and something needs to happen. I mean, Pellegrini, if we was in the top half and three wins out of 4, then you could sort of excuse him for going away. The players would have deserved to have a little bit of a break, but they don't deserve a break. They need to. They should have been on that training ground. They should have been doing old school training.
Were they?
I don't think they were, mate. I think the players were given a few days off. I think Pellegrini was back this weekend, but I think they was back to full training this week. So it's not great. It's not great. So you can understand why fans sort of kicked off.
Of course, yeah, but I do understand why it's that. You could always go back to last year when we went to Miami. That was a bonding session, and when it wasn't going too well for us there, straight after that Burnley game, there was a break. They went off to Miami, but that was 20 odd games into the season.
And not only that, if Pellegrini would have took the players away as they're all together,
he should have took them around his house to Chile.
Yeah, he should have
meet his wife and that.
No, but you know what I mean.
Do you know what? Pellegrini's the sort of bloke I could see sitting outside in the sun
with a big cigar,
with a snout, a cup of coffee. Do you know what I mean? He's one of them people that legs folded and he's just watching the world go by. He seems like that sort of character to me.
Little cognac on the side.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He's having a little, he's having a little chiller.
And then he just dives in the pool and,
Yeah, it's just, it just seems, he always captured me as one of them characters where he's just
he could have been down the caravan in Clacton and we don't know. He could have been sunning it up down there.
Yeah, of course, who wouldn't? In Southend-on-Sea or something, mate. But yeah, the players get a week off. Maybe it's a chance to clear their minds. The thing that grabs me about this is there's not too many on international duty, I would imagine.
No, four players, is it?
Hernandez and
Arnautovic, Snodgrass and Fabianski.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
I'm not really sure, but
ain't none playing for England, that's for sure.
No, none of them are playing for England. But yeah, no, the players need to start stepping it up. I mean, you can sort of reflect on this international break of how bad it's actually been, because you look back on the previous games and it has been poor. Apart from Arsenal away, you know, where we did put in a shift and we was unlucky to come away with a defeat. But nah, 2 home losses to Bournemouth and Wolves ain't great, and we've got a tough game this weekend. But Everton is a game. I think. Do you know what? I think I've got a feeling we're going to get a result at Everton. I've just got a feeling that the season's going to turn around on Sunday when we go out to Everton. I mean, they're missing Richarlison is out. Theo Walcott looks like he's going to miss the game. They've played 4, drawn 3, 1-1. So, and Huddersfield got a point there last time, didn't they?
Yep.
So they're not a team that can't be beaten. But we just need to go there and we need to show up, and players need to start stepping up. I'm talking about the big players as well, like Anderson, Yarmolenko, Wilshere, Hernandez, Arnautovic even. I know he's scored 2 goals this season, but he's just got to start grabbing the game by the scruff of the neck. You know, it's 12 years ago today since Tevez made his debut, and we would love a player like Tevez at the moment because he used to chase everything down. Yeah, and Arnautovic does that, but he also needs the other players to step it up as well. And it's it's going to be interesting. But no, I think we'll get a result up there on Sunday.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I do. I do you know what I mean? I'm actually going to say I think we're going to get a win up there.
Ooh.
Yeah, no, I think we're going to surprise a few people on Sunday. I think we'll get our first 3 points going into that game against Chelsea. Give everyone a confidence boost.
So we're saying it's got to change. I know he's been away on holiday, but saying it's got to change there. Otherwise, we're not going to end up getting anything. Should we have another song? What we got?
Yeah, let's get another song. I don't know. Johnny's queued this one up, so it's a little surprise.
Bit of heat wave there with Boogie Nights. Good song now. You know what? I didn't recognise it at the beginning. I thought it was a dream.
No, yeah, I wonder what was going on. But good choice, John. Good choice, mate.
Good choice. Right, what we got now?
Well, you can carry on talking about West Ham if you want, mate. I mean,
well, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Right, we got a show on West Ham Fan TV. Please subscribe. At West Ham Fan TV on Twitter, and we have a show called On the Social every week. Ryan Dutt sits down and has a On the Social. So I thought, seeing as this week we've got no football to talk about and we've got a little bit of time to fill, I think we might be able to go in some questions here.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll read out some of the questions that I was given, and then we will see if you give me the same sort of answers.
Okay.
So, right. Let's have a look. What we got here? Right. Greg Hobbs.
Greg Hobbs.
You know, right, Thames Ironwork player.
No,
he ain't no more, is he?
Thames Ironworks player.
Former.
Oh, we'll talk about Thames Ironworks in a minute.
Right. Should I be worried that he's 4 games in and Pellegrini doesn't know his best 11?
Yes, it's a short answer to that. I think he should be worried because, he's had a lot of pre-season. He seemed to have known who was coming in and who was coming out. There seems to be some gaps and holes in that team that need filling and filling badly, and it's down to Pellegrini to look at the problems and you can't buy anyone now, right? It's the transfer window's over, so he needs to use what he's got to fill the holes and fill the gaps and get people playing in their prime positions. But saying that, I've got full confidence that he will. Yeah, I sort of said the same thing, mate. It does sort of worry me a little bit that. And the only other thing is, like, it seems like if someone has a bad game, not only are they dropped from the team, they're dropped from the squad, which it doesn't give the players who are dropped much confidence. But listen, Pellegrini gets paid a lot of money and it's a good headache for him to have. Because how many seasons have we had where we've struggled, do you know what I mean? Yeah, I know.
Struggled to go. Do you know what I was thinking about that Sam Allardyce season? You remember that centre-back pairing when we had, George McCartney and Roger Johnson?
Yeah.
Like? It is worrying, but no, I've got full confidence that he will finally get, and he needs to get these players like Yarmolenko and Anderson into the team.
Yarmolenko's a funny one because
he scored, didn't he, for Ukraine?
Yeah, he did score for Ukraine. Yeah, but he's a funny one because he just looks so unfit.
He just spins every time he gets that ball. He just spins. Even when there's no one around him, he just spins.
While we're going through these questions, if you want to send in any more fresh questions, 07709 333 883 is a text number. Text in. I know Nick Tucker's listening, so he might want to send one in. obviously a few others are listening as well. So if anyone wants to send in, 07709 333 883. What's the next one, Mike? We'll go to the next one.
Right, rumours are saying that Pellegrini could be sacked. So would sacking Pellegrini be the right thing to do? In my opinion, not, because he needs more time to change his team around. He's one of the best managers, I believe. He can turn things around.
Well, Brady come out today, as I just pull up the story here, saying there's no chance he's going to be sacked.
Yeah,
to be honest with you,
the dreaded vote of confidence.
To be fair though, Ryan, I don't think
they don't want to sack him. It'll cost them £15 million.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's on such a big contract and he's been signed up for quite a long-term deal.
Just one thing on that. I mean, surely the club lawyers. Why didn't anyone pick up on that there wasn't a clause in that contract?
What, to sack him?
Yeah, that if he can get sacked after a certain amount of time, he doesn't get a full payoff.
Well, it's one of them things. I think it's a football problem rather than that, because these people don't have to sign. I mean, he's in China. He's earning a good amount of money. If you start putting clauses in contracts like that, you're risking not getting your man.
Yeah,
I mean, this is a bit of a problem in English football, so to speak, because there's so much money around, and you've got international players now, as we were talking about earlier, arguing about money. Everything just seems to be about money. There ain't no chance that a man's going to come from China. He's Chilean. His family's in Chilean. There's no chance he's going to come to England for a chance to have a West Ham job, to go 4 games in after relocating, buying a house, buying all this, buying that. He's never been in London before, but don't forget he was in Manchester. There's no chance he's going to do that for 4 million, 4 games, and then they go, sorry, Manuel, it's not working out, and he goes, oh well, okay, no problem. There's no way in a million years.
It's definitely too early to even be talking about it. I mean, De Boer, I know people say, yeah, De Boer got the sack, but De Boer wasn't a proven manager, and Palace made the right decision. But no, Pellegrini will get things right. I mean, it's been a tough start. It's been a tough start for everyone connected with West Ham, but he will turn it around. I've got confidence that he will turn it around starting this Sunday.
Let's have the next one. I like this. This is a good game.
Right, let's find one.
We've still got, before we go, when we get into the new studio next week, we've still got to do our prediction.
Right. This one's from
forfeits. Don't ignore me, right? Because you know it's coming.
I'm just trying to. Some of the questions are similar, so I don't want to go over it again. I was wondering your opinion on what you think is lacking in the team right now. For me, go on. No, you answer. Go on.
Go on. I'll let you answer first.
No, I was going to say one thing that's lacking for me is leadership, and people taking the games by the scruff of the neck. And we had this conversation last week after the Wolves game that I know Mark Noble's not everyone's cup of tea, but at least he gives you a little bit of fight on the pitch. But if he's not playing, then this is where other players need to step up. Jack Wilshere, for instance.
I see. The thing about West Ham is I see so many players that just, when it's not going their way, that just go missing. Do you know what I mean? They don't want the ball. You know what I mean? People was talking about Czech Kyoto last week, and they were saying about, I know that he wasn't there. He was the first. Believe me when I say this, right? I think that's people are misremembering this. He was the first one to go missing when things weren't going our way. Believe me, he was the first one to go missing when things weren't going our way.
I think
he was one of them players, right, that never wanted the ball, that never wanted to do anything. He didn't want to chase back. He didn't want to sprint forward. Do you know what? In his day, when he was with us the first time, he was a brilliant player, Czech. But I noticed in these last 2 seasons when things were really bad for us and there was a lot of players going missing, he wasn't one of them players that was going to step up. So there's no evidence to me that ever says that he was ever going to be that same player. And that's the thing that's missing in our team. Lack of responsibility. I think everyone is just looking at everyone else. Like we were shouting on Match of the Day last week when Alan Shearer was watching crosses coming into the box. The cross is coming into the box. It ain't even landed, and people are running backwards.
Oh, Alan Shearer's been digging us out again. I think he's just so upset with Newcastle that he's taking.
He's right though.
Yeah, he's right, but I think it's leadership we're lacking. We're lacking someone to grab the game like a Scott Parker type player. Even in that Avram Grant season, how many times did he drag us through games? And then you've got senior players at the club, even players like Carroll and Reid. I know they're not playing, but they should be in the change room,
Carroll's been around.
Yeah, they should be putting their arms around some of these players, giving them confidence, especially someone like Diop. He's only young. He's been outstanding for me. I mean, just a quick one. I mean, it's not probably a lot, but out of the players, who's impressed you the most? I mean, for me, Fabianski and Diop are the only ones that are really impressed me.
Diop's a massive, because I think all the games he's played, he's had good games. I didn't think he had the best pre-season either. I thought he looked a little bit shaky in pre-season, but since he's come in, he's got that little bit of quality. He's got that little bit of pace that gets him out of trouble as well. He's got a blinding goal at Wimbledon, and I think he's got that in his locker as well. I think he'll become an important player for us. He's only young. He's a highly rated French international. And I think he'll be an important player for us. Well, I really do. But apart from them two, I mean, we signed so many. Yarmolenko's shown glimpses. Anderson's shown glimpses.
Showed glimpses against
Wilshere,
Arsenal.
for me, he hasn't shown anything.
For me, if I was to rate him out of 10, I'd give him a 5, because I don't think he's been that great, and I don't think he's been that bad. He's not. And then you got Sanchez for me. Take away that mistake last week, I think he's been all right. You know.
It's more the forward line that I'm concerned with.
That's what we need
now.
as well. As much as we need leadership, we need our strikers to start taking their chances.
But that's where I see that people will slate me for saying this, and that's where things like people like Andy Carroll will, because when he comes back and when he's 100%. Well, I say 100% fit. I don't think he's ever been 100% fit.
I think he's never been 50% fit.
When he comes back and when he does, he is one of them players that take the game by the scruff of the neck, that takes responsibility, that wants to get things done.
And not only that, he gets stuck in. He roughs players up.
Yeah.
And that's what we're lacking as well.
Ruffles a few feathers.
People need to start sticking their foot in a bit more. I mean, Obiang the other day against Wolves when he come on. I don't even think I think his shorts were whiter than when he come on.
Powder puff.
Yeah, he just don't want to get stuck in. So. I mean, just moving on to this one, I'll break it down a bit because it's a bit long. After the failure of the past 3 years, we all got excited about the new players and the 100 million investment. Everyone spoke about Europe and winning the cup. However, given what's happened so far, should we not just be realistic and accept we are a below average team?
No. I don't think you should ever accept that you're a below average team, especially with the money we've invested. I think it may be a little bit... look at that, what I've just popped up on the screen there. I'll explain to you in a minute. I don't think you should ever accept that, because we was promised for a long time when we moved this from the bowling that we would be a team competing. Now I know money don't buy success, but I do believe that things are changing at West Ham, and I do believe that they've got the right idea now. Whether it's their idea or not is a completely different kettle of fish.
One thing I've always said, I've never knocked the board's ambition of what they want to do for the club, but they're not, the way they're going about it, it's not the right thing. I mean, we could have had this in the bowling.
The board's ambition is a funny one, because when you take over a club, everyone wants to be the best. Everyone wants to win Premier League titles. I don't think there's not a chairman out there that would just be like, oh yeah, we want to just be in the league and all that. I don't think there's any chairman. They all dream of winning titles. It's whether you've got the stones to back it up.
Yeah. Do you feel that since they bought the club in 2010 that there's much improvement in that 8 years?
From what we were?
From when they bought the club in 2010.
Yeah, I think there is.
Zola was manager at the time.
There's sort of there's been a spiral, isn't there? Because we went from, the Zola years, then the Grant years, and we went down. And then I think the appointment of Allardyce, as much as people hated him in the Premier League, I think the appointment of Allardyce was a massive one.
Massive. Two big signings was Allardyce and Kevin Nolan.
Nolan was unbelievable for us.
Nolan dropped down from the Premier League. He was Newcastle's captain.
Yeah, and people like him were... Allardyce knew him very well, and he's obviously giving the old spiel about, come to us and we're gonna start building again and all this. And I don't think it's ever been a question of is there improvement, because it's gone from really bad to nearly out of existence to going down, and that's was our lowest. And then since then we've come back up, and we went right up to the last season at Bowling, where we could have qualified for the Champions League. And I think that's where they've made the mistake, is because the game has changed since then. The game has changed since the Bowling season, because the money and everything else has doubled. So transfer fees have doubled, transfer wages have doubled. An average player now that would cost you £5 million back in the Bowling days is going to cost you 15 million quid.
And other clubs, after taking that Bowling season, other clubs went out and spent. We finished, 5 points behind Man City?
Yeah.
Look what happened. They went out and spent 100, 200 million.
But they can.
Win the league. Yeah,
but they can. But this is the thing. So the thing about our board is I always feel like he's the fact of him going out and finding a Diafra Sacco or someone like that,
a Lanzini,
yeah, that cost us peanuts and end up being well beaters, in the terms of Lanzini. But Sacco was, he looked every part the 20-30 million pound striker when he first came along, and I think that's what gets him going in the morning. I think that's what gets him up in the morning. I think that's what he wants to be. But it ain't like that anymore. Football is not like that anymore. It's not a giant car boot sale. It's it's a definite money business now. As it says, we'll go back to the Denmark players that are arguing about money, even all the money they earn at club level. But everybody wants the money, and they're getting the money, but they don't want to part with it. They want that. He's always hopeful that he's going to find the next Lanzini or Sacco or Czech Kyoto or someone like that. You know what I mean? He's always hopeful, but look, we're wasting so much time on this, but.
No, but it's good. It's good things to talk about, because once when you got the international break, like I said, you sort of sit back and reflect on how your season's gone so far, and it hasn't been great. And yeah, I mean, I
think that's what he owns the football club for. I think it's to make money.
Yeah, definitely. We all know that as soon as he gets a chance to sell it, him and gold.
Well, I've always said this one. It's not the fact that they want to make money. Look, they invested their money. It's a lot of money. When you're putting an investment in anything, you want to see a return. The fact of the matter is this, that he maximised his profit by 4 or 5 times by moving into the London Stadium. He had to have our backing. He had to have our support. And they told us lies. This is my opinion. This is not Centre Force's opinion. This is not even your opinion. They told us lies to get us there. And that is the problem.
Oh, yeah, they definitely sold us a dream. I mean, me and you went to the centre together, and we sat down and they had this big video with Ray Winston doing the voiceover.
I blame him, Ray Winston.
Yeah, Ray Winston out. But no, they sat down, they told us this, that. We went in, we chose our seats, the stadium, the stadium.
They lied to us so much that the stadium pictures didn't even look like what
I was just about to say. It was completely different to what was on the screen to when we first turned out there the next day, because on that screen I didn't see concrete blocks.
No.
No.
And do you know what else? They knew they was doing it when you look back at it in hindsight, because they wouldn't let you take a picture.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we tried to take a fuse cheat, but she
wasn't having it, mate.
But yeah, I mean, yeah.
All right, let's have another song and we'll
let's have a quick song, and then we've got a couple more bits to go into.
Yeah, okay. Chic, Le Freak. Got a couple of questions coming.
Yeah. As we all know, the film Final Score come out.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Bautista, you know him very well.
I do know him, yeah. Do you know what? I used to like a bit of wrestling when I was in my younger days, but yeah, go on.
But yeah, Andy's messaging, what's your thoughts on the film being executive producer David Sullivan? How much did he earn from our misery?
Do you know what? I didn't know that was the case.
I don't think anyone knew until the credits went
Until
up.
the credits rolled, yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, have you seen the film?
No, I haven't.
Let me give you a quick...
We wasn't one of them West Ham accounts that was invited to promote the film or go to the premiere, I'll tell you.
I mean, it's so unrealistic. I mean... It's so unrealistic. They've got West Ham in a European semi-final for one thing. That's never going to happen. Then they've got a bloke.
That's it. I've seen Star Wars. I've seen Alien. I've seen horror films like where mobile phones kill people. I'm not having that. That is beyond my prospect. I can't watch it. Right. I'm not having that.
Honestly, mate. I mean, you got Batista driving around on top of the chicken run on a motorbike when no one's noticing it with machine guns. But I'll tell you what. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I've seen a lot worse.
I've seen your film choices, right? And I will reserve judgment for myself.
Go on, name me one.
What, that you've seen? Yeah. You think it's good?
Go on.
Any Danny Dyer film? For one. The Business.
That's a great film.
Is it? Okay. All right, we'll leave that there. But
Mr. Star Wars over here.
We're not talking about film choices anyway.
No, but let's just... Johnny's got a lifesaver. Get me out of here. But it wasn't a great film, but it was good to see the bowling until they blew it up. And I think that's what a lot of people are a bit upset with, that he's blown up the ground. We didn't blow up the whole ground. He blew up the corner of the West Stand.
Well, the thing is,
Do you know what? One thing I do want to say.
It's a Hollywood film.
Yeah.
Right? Take away the fact that it's our. Go on. I'll let you say what you got. to say.
No, one thing I was going to say. I don't want to spoil it for anyone, but there's one scene in this film that I think was one of the funniest things. Well, worst acting I've seen, but it's the best scene. Tony Cottee and Rufus Brevett get shot, and Tony Cottee flings back off his chair. And I tell you what, it's one of the. It's bad acting, mate. But I tell you what, it was one of the funniest. Rufus Brevett looked like Whoopi Goldberg's stunt double.
Oh Jesus! sorry, Rufus. We hope to have you on the show one day, but
nah, he's all right. I've called him Whoopi Goldberg before.
Okay. No, the question. What do I think about it? I think it's another one of them things where it's in such poor taste because, do you know what? It's a Hollywood film. We knew that it was going to be used. We knew it was going to be partially blown up. They was going to knock it down anyway, but I think it's another one of them things that it's in such poor taste. Why? Because there's enough hate anyway around that man about the stadium move, and to be the one that sort of funds it being blown up, it doesn't look great for him. And I'll be honest with you, I'm pretty shocked that there wasn't more made of it in social media.
See, I'm a bit, I don't know, it's going to get knocked down anyway. So why not use it as a film? Why? Because we get to see that. We get to see the Boleyn one last time, and you know, you got the actors walking through like the Legends Lounge.
I can watch the Iron Man film.
Yeah, I know.
See the Boleyn one last time. I can watch any video on YouTube and see the Boleyn one last time.
It's just you know, you might as well use it. You know, I know people are saying he's making money out of it, which it won't surprise me if that was part of the deal why he wanted to sell the Boleyn so he can have a Hollywood blockbuster, which it ain't a blockbuster because it didn't even make cinema. Well, it did, but I couldn't find any cinema in London showing it.
I think it was the Genesis. Well,
there you go. There you go.
No, but I'm pretty upset that it wasn't a better film for one.
You ain't seen it yet?
No, I haven't seen it. No, I might.
Danny Dyer ain't in it.
I might love it, but no. In all seriousness, mate, I think it's in very poor taste.
Pierce Brosnan's
James Bond.
I was going to say Piers Morgan then, but Pierce Brosnan's in it.
No, regardless, but the serious hub of it, I don't think it's in very good taste. I think that, you know, if someone like that is going to, you know, sell off our ground, I don't think he should be putting his name to things like that because it's another one of them things where it just puts him in a little bit of a position. You know, he's going to be making money from it, and you know, is it right that he's making money from something that people hold so dear? And I don't know. I don't know.
It's a difficult one, but if you ain't seen it, watch it anyway. Give us your thoughts. But a couple of quick questions before we move on because we've got 15 minutes.
We've got to preview next week's games yet.
Yeah, I know. So we're quickly going right. Nick Tucker, favourite memorabilia you've got? Oddest piece. He's got Jeff Pike's testimonial fruit bowl.
Well, I'll go
that's
first.
That's random.
Yeah, that's a fruit bowl.
Yeah, I don't know where he got that from.
I'm going to let you go because I know you've got a big piece of memorabilia, but I'm not really a massive collector of memorabilia, to be quite honest with you. Anything that I've ever given, I've given away to charity.
Yeah, I'm the same.
I mean, as West Ham Fan TV, I think we had our first ever interview and Matty Everett give us a shirt that I've never seen again since the day he gave it to us.
Scott's got that in his cupboard.
Which I want to be put on, you know, when we've got a better place to film and a proper studio to call home, I'd like to put up a certain couple of bits on the walls just to remind us of things like that because it was a big part of our history. But apart from that, you bought me a Paolo Di Canio picture that was signed by
Paolo Di Canio.
But yeah, well, obviously, yeah, but it was signed by him, and it's on the wall in my front room.
I bought you a Paolo Di Canio one signed by Samassi Abu.
I've had numerous bits. We've had bits in the channel. We've had like Hernandez's match worn shirts, Mark Noble's work, and we've given away to charity.
They both went to the Isla Caton charity.
Yeah, so my personal one is the Paolo picture because it was my 30th present from you. But I know you've got a massive because I was there when you bought it.
No, you got me the for my 30th. You got me the Julian Dix.
Yeah,
I've got stuff signed by Julian, but no, I've obviously got. I'm not one for collecting match worn shirts. It's never been a thing for me. But probably my Paul Gascoigne match worn Rangers shirt, massive. But I've got the Bobby Moore signed Bobby Moore 1966 picture, which is. Yeah, massive. He was there that night when I bought it, and I had to buy it because I've always wanted to get something signed by Bobby Moore, and you know, there's a lot of fakes out there and things like that.
It was a pretty penny, let me tell you that.
Yeah, but listen, you can't go out and get his autograph, can you?
No, mate, no.
And it was a nice frame bit, but yeah, I'm happy with it. One more quick one. London clubs, who will be top and who will be bottom? I think we done this, didn't we? So, London clubs, I think we said it was going to be Tottenham.
No, I don't think we did. I said West Ham were going to finish above.
You said West Ham will finish fifth. So, that'd be Tottenham,
I think it'd be
Arsenal.
Chelsea.
No, Tottenham, Chelsea, Arsenal. It's changed, isn't it? Because Watford could be top now, but yeah, no, I think we won't finish bottom. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, okay.
I think Tottenham and Chelsea are battle out for top. Arsenal.
Right, we've got 15 minutes and we've got to preview some of the next week's games. But let's have another song, right? And this is.
Hang on, just quickly. Nick's texted, whatever happened to the feature? Where are they now? Darnie, Boogers, a boo. Where's Sacco?
Well, yeah, that was well. We was going to do one on West Ham fan TV, but no, there's only so many you can do, Nick, I suppose, because nowadays, like as they're retiring now, like Colton Cole and things, they're all millionaires, and you know they're all going to live the life of Riley.
Colton Cole's bankrupt, isn't he?
Well, I'll give a bad example there, but you know, mostly they're millionaires and they do this. But you know, back in the days in the 90s and the early 2000s, they'd go and get proper jobs. But
if we get West Ham Fan TV as a full-time job, that can be one of our features. We go around the world looking for ex-players like Boogers.
I'll volunteer.
Darnie.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind going to Portugal, spending a couple of weeks out there trying to find him. But should we get into another song and then we'll come back with a preview?
Let's have this last song before we come back for the preview, and then we're going to sign off. Bit of Push the Feeling on there. If you want to hear more like that, Trevor Fung, UK House Legends, is on straight after us at 8 p.m. And we've got.
Can I just one quick?
Well,
thing?
no, wait. Go on.
Just got a quick question coming. I don't know who it's from. If Pellegrini is sacked, would you take Zidane?
Yes, certainly.
Yes, I'll play him in midfield.
All right, serviced by Cosmic Electronics, Brentwood. It's a business that sponsors Centrefull Sound, so thanks to them. Right, next week's fixtures. Before we finish up here, we've got about 10 minutes to fly through these. Right, so we got on the. What's happened to me mouse, Matt?
There you go.
Okay, what's going on? Okay, here we go. September 15th, which is the Saturday, starts off with a big, massive game, to be quite honest with you. And do you know what? I don't normally watch the football of a Saturday afternoon, but I'm going to watch that, mate. It's Tottenham versus Liverpool.
Well, this should have been the first game at the new Lane.
It should have been, mate. Yeah, it should have been, but it's not. But it's not.
That's going to be a massive game, and yeah, it's Liverpool. Obviously, Tottenham suffered their first defeat of the season at Watford last week.
This could really define their season.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
This is if they lose this. Yeah, if they lose this, then that's 2 games, and Liverpool are just flying at the moment.
What do you see? What do you see this one being, mate?
I'm gonna go for a draw on this one. I'm gonna say 2-2. I'm gonna go for a 2-2 draw.
I think Liverpool are going to win.
Yeah, do you know what? It wouldn't. You could see it going either way, really. But I'm going to sit on the fence on this one.
It's a big old pitch. Wembley.
Yeah, and the pace.
And the pace of Mane, Firmino and Salah, I think might be a bit too much for Spurs.
Oh, you've convinced me. I'm going 3-2 Liverpool.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a 3-1 win for Liverpool there. Bournemouth versus Leicester is the first 3 o'clock game that we're going to cover. I see Bournemouth winning this one. Definitely.
Yeah, Bournemouth had a great start to the season. Leicester as well, to be fair. So, yeah, that should be a good, entertaining game. Which has got 0-0 written all over it.
Yeah,
now,
of course it has. Yeah, sure. Chelsea versus Cardiff is the next game.
Oh, Chelsea Cardiff.
You're doing what I normally do. That's repeating.
Yeah, yeah. Because usually I'm reading the game.
Yeah,
like, Chelsea versus Cardiff. Nah, Chelsea will win this comfortably. I think 3 or 4-0. Cardiff.
I think so as well.
Ain't really going to offer much, but you never know. That's the Premier League.
Another game that could be quite decisive at the end of the season is Huddersfield versus Palace. Haven't had the greatest start of a team, but Huddersfield have looked weak, but they got a good draw away to Everton, didn't they? You know
Palace,
what I mean? So
Palace last week really disappointed me with their home defeat to Southampton, because that's the sort of game that you could see them winning. I mean, they've got a good squad. I mean, but they just haven't. I mean, Benteke, he's just. I can't believe he's still playing.
No.
Can't believe he's still playing for
him. He's such a disappointment because he was such a good striker when he's in his Villa days.
In his Villa days, he was like, he's got to be worth, what, 40, 50 million?
Yeah, I reckon so, yeah. He was
back then.
Top striker then. But I'm going to plump for a Huddersfield win here.
Yeah, I fancy Huddersfield to win that.
Man City versus Fulham. Can't see past Man City.
No, Man City are just... They're on top form this season, and I think they're just going to carry on and go from strength to strength. And
they did get that draw with Wolves, though.
Yeah, I'm going to go 1-0 Fulham. No, I'm going to go Man City 2 or 3-0.
Now, this is a tough one because I remember this one being a massive fixture one year. Newcastle versus Arsenal. I remember Arsenal being 4-0 up there and drawing 4-4.
Yeah, I remember when, who was it, Tiote, when he scored the equaliser?
Oh, what a goal,
I remember that.
What a player he was.
But yeah, it depends what Arsenal turn up, really. I mean, and it also depends what Newcastle turn up. I mean, they haven't been great this season, but Arsenal at the moment, they've got 2 wins in a row, beat West Ham, beat Cardiff, and they're starting to play Lacazette and Aubameyang together, so...
That partnership is starting to look dangerous. I think, I'll be honest with you, I think it was the first time they started together last week.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Arsenal win on that one. I think Newcastle are really struggling this season. I'm still got them down for relegation.
I'm going to plot for a draw there. I'm going to say a 1-1 draw. Arsenal are a funny team.
Do you know what? We said Tottenham versus Liverpool was a game of the day, but just looking at that one now.
What one?
The Watford-Man United game.
Yeah, that's a big game.
That's going to be a cracking game because Watford... You know, they beat Tottenham last week. They've won 4 out of 4. Man United...
Is it just one of them... Are they going to have a Leicester season, or is it going to be one of them where they start well but they start to fade out? Because a loss here could start them on the precedent.
You always
what you
find
expect them
with these sort of teams is they get to the 40 point quick, and then their season just fades out.
Yeah.
But no, Watford. I'm looking forward to watching that game. There's some good games on Saturday.
Yeah, there is some good games, mate. I'm going to watch that
even
one.
Better one on Sunday.
The thing is, they're both on telly. Tottenham and Liverpool on telly, and so
BT
they're not.
Sport, BT Sport is R5. Yeah.
Sunday at the early games, Wolves versus Burnley. Burnley have struggled, to be quite honest with you, since they got into Europe last year after having a great season last year. I'm going to plump for a Wolves winning.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Wolves. I was impressed with them. Been impressed with them all season. I was impressed with them against us last week. If Burnley have got any hope of getting anything out of this game, they've just got to keep Neves off the ball. Keep him off the ball, and Burnley have got some good players. Burnley can cause not cause an upset, but they can get a point. But then we move on to
harder than it sounds. Everton versus West Ham, 4 o'clock, Goodison Park.
Live on Sky.
We'll be there. Check out West Ham Fan TV for all the coverage. Live
on Sky. That's got 5-0 Everton written all over it, innit?
Yeah. Do you know what? It's one of them grounds where I'm never confident going to Everton.
No.
To be honest,
do you know what?
It's one of them places where, on the back of a bad run, I don't want to see that being the next game.
As I said at the start of the show, I feel that this is where our season turns round. I got a feeling that we're going to go there. We're going to put in a good performance. I'll be happy with a point, but I can see us nicking a win. I think them not having Richarlison is massive for us, and Theo Walcott as well, who's been on fire for them this season. So if he misses out, I think he's injured. So no, it'd be an entertaining game. But like I said, even if we come away with a point, it's massive for West Ham because we need to put points on the table. But no, I fancy us to get our first win now. I'm going to go for a 3-1 win.
Okay. And the last one on the Monday is Southampton versus Brighton. It's a seaside derby.
It's a South Coast derby. It's the Saints versus the Seagulls.
Yeah. That's an odd game to put on the telly, I think.
Yeah.
That has got 0-0 written all over it. I'm just looking at the screen now and I see 0-0 next to both teams.
Yeah, 2-0. No,
just take that 2 away.
No,
look, take that away. Look, it's 0-0 written all over it.
You never know, though. These. I don't know what the rivalry's like down there. I know Southampton and Portsmouth don't like each other. Brighton's more.
They're not that close.
No, Brighton's more Palace's rivals, isn't
they? Yeah, they're more.
But they're on the coast, didn't they? So they probably call it a coast derby. I don't know.
Seaside derby, just because they're both seaside.
Seaside. Southend versus Clacton. Southampton versus Brighton.
0-0.
Yeah, 0-0. I'm going to go 1-0 Southampton.
You think Saints are going to get the win?
Yeah.
Brighton are a decent outfit, though. They've got a couple
of Saints
players.
Go marching on. They got Danny Ings, who's on fire at the moment.
Yeah.
That's it, mate.
Well, that's it for the Total Football Show. 90 minutes. You've been listening to me, Nicky Hawkins, and Ryan Archer out on Centreforce. Don't forget, Trevor Fung's coming up next with a UK Legends House show. We have been here for just under 90 minutes.
It's gone quick. I've enjoyed it. The first 10 minutes was a waterlogged pitch, so we couldn't get on. But no,
the floodlights failed. The floodlights
failed.
failed.
One thing I would say is that with no football this weekend, I thought, wow, what are we going to talk about for 90 minutes? But we have blitzed it.
Listen,
thank you, England.
Football there's always something to think. I could sit here another 90 minutes and still talk, to be quite honest with you. There's always talking points in football. But thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back again next week. But as I said, Trevor Fung and the UK Legends House show is coming up next. Thank you very much, and good night.
Good night.